No, I've had enough wonderful news today. I'll matter. The Fifth Element appears complete to you. Actually, the movie you know is reduced. Behind 23rd century New York's neon lights, Jean-Paul Gaultier's outlandish outfits, and Ruby Road's sparkling laughter is a hidden planet that never was filmed. Lost reels and sequences due to their differences. From the US television band Ruby Road sequence to the interplanetary garbage workers' strike to the desert lost ending. The Fifth Element conceals a world the viewers never saw. Today, we'll open that vault to reveal deleted moments and unseen truths that the most loyal fans never knew. For sci-fi, Ruby Road encounters the situation too provocative. Most people have never seen a scenario so humorous and risque that American television erased it from broadcast history in The Fifth Element. Chris Tucker played Ruby Road, a wild media personality who worked every frame into a spectacular, chaotic performance. Ruby briefly boards the Flossin Paradise spacecraft to live stream his space adventure in the theatrical cut. Before exclaiming, "Showtime, baby," he teases a flight attendant, plays with his microphone, and drops a pen. Each technical command in the pre-flight checklist has a sneaky, flirting undertone, and the crew laughs. It perfectly captured Ruby's half-idle, half-narcissist, adorable, and humiliating nature. The sci-fi broadcast removed the entire part. No. Ruby flirting. None of the team laughed, and the checklist lost its double significance. Alternative versions, per IMDb. Ruby's private conversation with the attendant and all inappropriate humor were eliminated. The purpose was commercial to keep TV-14 PG-13. Sci-fi had to delete adult material. Ruby was tamer than in Luc Besson's version after several lines were redubbed or trimmed. Chris Tucker said in an interview, "Was just following my instincts. Luke advised sending them blushing but not banning us. I thought I had it till it disappeared from TV." Tucker considered it one of his best improvised moments. American television has to remove it to make movies family-friendly. The scene meant to criticize 23rd century media's suffocation was banned by 20th century media. True Ruby Road irony. Thoughts on this cut? Because not all sexually explicit scenes were erased. Some were buried because they were dirty. Intergalactic sanitation revolt, garbage collectors strike. An anchor to reality, according to Luc Besson, existed in the Fifth Element's neon-lit chaos. Flossin Spaceport, a bustling alien, tourist, and police hub, was the setting for an alien garbage collector strike at Pinewood Studios. There, sanitation workers in silver-gray uniforms and gas masks hold handmade protest signs. "We need air" as rubbish mountains surround them. A 500-pound pig runs over the set, scaring scores of extras and confusing robot officers. Besson planned the sequence to come early in the film as a satire of a civilization full of technology but lacking clean air. In the initial proposal, the strike featured a megaphone blasting unlawful labor protest and a close-up of corporate trash division fading on a concrete wall. A nuanced 2263 critique of capitalism. However, the footage was too chaotic and raw for the film's tone. When Besson mixed real rubbish with foam and industrial paint to make the scene look damp and filthy, production designer Ron Cobb said it smelled terrible. A technician later explained Luke intended us to feel like we were breathing deadly fumes, and no one had to fake it. The session took 2 hard days. Frightened by fake explosions, the big pig prop broke through a wall. The garbage collector's striking sequence was removed during editing. Editor Sylvie Landra said, "The opening was dense. That scene would have exhausted the spectators before Corbin and Lelu arrived." Columbia Pictures was felt that the dirty protest images was too dark for a cheerful European sci-fi adventure. Few behind-the-scenes photographs show alien workers in the junkyard with protest placards stating "We want air" flashing beneath set lights. Small world reminder. The Fifth Element originally held the part its inventor had to bury under his film junk. If you thought the garbage strike was chaotic, wait till the scorching sun and genuine sandstorms nearly drove the crew off set in the next scene. The Fifth Element once had a somber, solemn, deeply human moment amid its fast-paced rhythm and stunning action sequences. Arrival at the Temple was a deleted scene from the theatrical cut but kept in the screenplay and Luc Besson's production notebooks. After the hero's spacecraft landed in the desert near the ancient temple, where Lilu would awaken the Fifth Element to save the world, the scene was deleted, according to the FTHelement.net. A wide picture showed a burning sun over infinite crimson sands. Cornelius David, Lilu. The last three people carrying humanity's hope walk through the desert, their robes blowing. No background music, just gusty air and ragged breathing. Ian Holmes' Cornelius collapses exhausted halfway through the trek. While David, the awkward young acolyte, looks about in confusion and mutters, "It's like the world forgot us," Lella goes back, kneels, and pulls him up. Ian Holmes told Empire magazine that Besson improvised that line on set. The director wanted the desert scene to represent human loneliness in space. Physical fatigue replaced philosophical depth for the crew. After shooting in the Mauritanian desert at 45 degrees and 113 degrees, Pinewood Studios fixed the lighting. Tons of synthetic sand and industrial wind machines covered the stage in dust. On the Fifth Element Archives fan forum, a lighting technician said no one could tell real from synthetic sand anymore. Miller's skin was splitting, so Ian Holm got in 4 drip on site. Lilu's lone emotional vulnerability in the film was this. She's no longer divine, but an exhausted lady who can elevate another. Besson appreciated the scenario for that reason. In post-production, editor Sylvie Landra said its slow pace and dismal tone hampered the temple sequence's build-up. She said the audience was exhausted before Lella woke up. There were technical issues. Can 1997 premiere lighting and wind effects were incomplete. Digital Domain had to eliminate the scene since it couldn't match beach and sunlight colors across images. Few behind-the-scenes photographs show Lilu crouching to help Cornelius against flaming dunes in her white dust-covered attire. A fleeting, elegant melancholy. Evidence that the Fifth Element previously held something human amid explosions and joy. Remember that compassion in a silent desert saves, not technology. Would you have wanted this scene restored in the final edit because the next deleted sequence caused turmoil and buried one of the film's most spectacular visuals in a trailer? For Hay Airport, the cut police shootout scene, one of Luc Besson's few violent scenes that was never released, the airport police shootout has piqued interest more than any other scene from The Fifth Element. Just before Corbin Dallas, Bruce Willis and Lelo Miller Jovovich reached the film's greatest set, the Flossin Paradise Terminal, the scene was set. The rough cut showed suffocating futuristic pandemonium. Alarms blared as the camera panned hundreds of passengers in the terminal. An alien terrorist was surrounded by a squad of officers in Ron Cobb's Polisek 2040 armor. Freeze! The commander shouts as plasma rifles fire red light on the visors. A beam fires, panicking the audience. An automatic welcome to paradise ad loops behind them. At the height of tension, a calm airport clerk apologizes for a small security issue. Cobb recalls in Cinefix number 70 that Besson wanted to depict his future world as overregulated and fearful of a culture that acts before thinking. The moment was designed to juxtapose Lelou's purity and compassion. Besson remarked that he intended the audience to start with terror so they could experience optimism when Lelou emerged. In the editing room, everything changed. Editor Sylvie Landra told Premiere France that early Paris test audiences felt they were watching a dystopian picture from the first act, not a colorful space trip. After adding Ruby Road comedic moments, producer Patrice Ledoux demanded a lighter tone. Gaumont and Columbia worried the airport shooting would give the film a R rating in the US, harming box office. The result? Complete sequence cut. Only a few race trailer frames survived, a policeman's visor reflecting crimson plasma. "That was the best shot I ever filmed," said a cameraman. Censors disliked it, Besson loved it. The dystopian airport, where fear, bureaucracy, and violence mixed under fluorescent lights, was buried in Pinewood Studios' vaults. A cybernoir fragment from The Fifth Element's world sacrificed so the movie could smile from the start. As more deleted sequences surface, fans may conclude The Fifth Element has no mystery. Even the film's ending conceals untold tales. In an early 1995 draft of The Fifth Element, Two Moons Over Manhattan was supposed to end with a haunting lyrical vision. The camera doesn't fade out on humanity's relief laughter after President Lindbergh's amusing phone chat with Corbin Dallas' mother, unlike the final film. Instead, it zooms out through the window past glamorous New York City's glass towers and into the night sky above Manhattan, where two silver moons sparkle brightly. Earth's genuine moon and The Fifth Element, Lelou's radiant energy of love and redemption, are represented by the two. Archived production notes show that Digital Domain attempted to create the two-moon sequence using orbital light mapping software but abandoned it owing to budget restrictions. "It would have cost me another moon's budget," laughed Luc Besson. Money wasn't everything. Besson told Cinefix number 70 thought the scene was stunning but too abstract when he studied the footage. He wanted theatergoers to feel warm, not metaphor confusion. So he chose the simpler, more emotional conclusion we know today. Lelu and Corbin embrace in the recovery pod as light bursts around them, no moons needed. The film's 1997 novelization by Terry Bisson ended with the words, "Over the gleaming city, 2 moons gleamed on the new world." A modest reference to the possible outcome. Censorship occasionally modifies the human body as well as cosmic symbols. Modified Lelu scenario for TV. Mila Jovovich played Lelu, the fifth element, in one of the film's most memorable scenes in 1997. Her resurrection in a clean futuristic lab. The DNA regeneration room glows amber as a body slowly forms inside a glass cylinder. When the machine finishes, Lelu is naked. Holy light illuminated her form. The camera briefly lingers on her open eyes before moving to the scientists' startled faces. It was a spiritual and scientific scene, creating a lovely, innocent being naked in a cold mechanical world. The moment symbolized humanity's rebirth, according to Luc Besson in an Empire interview. "I wanted viewers to see her as a newborn, not a sexual being. She doesn't know who she is or what shame is, but in American television, where broadcast rules can turn a philosophical scenario into a content violation, centimeters can make the difference between innocent and improper." The Fifth Element's rebirth scene was digitally altered for TNT, Sci-Fi, and FX. The reconstruction gadget in TV-14 included a holographic control panel across Lelu's chest to hide what was too provocative for mainstream audiences. Fans argued this on Home Theater Forum and MovieCensorship.com for years. Was it censored or just fresh lighting? The answer? Careful editing and digital patchwork made Lelu's birth scene more humble without reshooting a frame. If you think every stunning moment in The Fifth Element was CGI, you'll be astonished. The biggest explosion wasn't digital, so it was genuine. Real diva explosion, not CGI. Audiences gasped during The Fifth Element's hallway explosion aboard the Floss in Paradise when Corbin Dallas Bruce Willis saves Lelu and the alien diva Platia Laguna. The spectacular blue firestorm consuming the opera stage and the slow-motion whirling smoke were considered to be CGI by most viewers. Actually, the reverse is true. Was filmed in a confined set and remains one of the largest indoor blasts in a 1990s European studio. The full opera explosion sequence was filmed at Pinewood Studios in England, known for James Bond. However, Luc Besson's crew increased the risk beyond Bond's. Real explosions without CGI or digital compositing were chosen. Oscar-winning alien special effects supervisor Nick Alda created a network of remote-triggered propane detonators. The cameras rolled dozens of liters of gasoline, pumping an explosive gas combination beneath the stage floor behind the diva. The 7-second detonation boosted the studio temperature to approximately 800 degrees Celsius, 470 degrees. "We calculated it frame by frame," Alda said in an Empire interview. Mila Jovovich was around 15 feet from the blast. She was advised to fall if her hair burned. Cut when that happens. The explosion wasn't a trick. Raw, physical filmmaking was its essence. Besson wanted European action films with palpable risk. At the time, he distrusted crude CGI. "I wanted flames to reflect on their skin," he remarked. Software could never achieve that. The group created a 3D opera hall computer model to simulate smoke movement. After the explosion, smoke spread twice as rapidly as planned. The crew shut down for 2 days to clear ash and debris from the set after one 35mm camera sensor overheated and burned out. The result was unforgettable. The last cut shows Eric Serra's operatic composition swelling as the flame surges ahead like a tragic, captivating dance as the diva is shot. It was later termed one of the largest indoor pyrotechnic shots in European cinema before CGI. Pinewood's effects technicians call it the blue fire shot. A burst that illuminated the studio like a sun. In a futuristic film, the irony is poetic. The most real moment had fire, smoke, and panic. Balance between chaos and order, humans and machinery, life and destruction, and perhaps Luc Besson's imagination's light and darkness dominates The Fifth Element. He sacrificed brilliant, raw, or melancholy pieces to create a massive, luminous universe. Moments unsuitable for a commercial sci-fi film but containing the director's spirit. Perhaps that's why The Fifth Element remains an unfulfilled dream, tempting us to find the missing pieces. The fifth element in Besson's universe is imagination, the only force strong enough to make us believe there's another planet out there in the galaxy. more wild and gorgeous than ours. What do you think? Any further Fifth Element secrets or hidden scenes? Comment your ideas below. If you enjoy finding Hollywood's untold history, like, subscribe, and set the bell to not miss the next deep dive.